There's the red light. Okay.
You're going.
So, again, the marginal revenue product is our demand. As long as the wage rate that we're paying our workers is less than the amount of money that worker earns us, we're gonna hire that worker. Once it goes the other way, we're done. So, what are the two ways that we would hire more workers?
If the MRP went up,
If they somehow earned us more money, how would they earn us more money?
being more productive,
Producing more.
They could be more productive, but let's assume that they're fixed in their production at this stage. So how else? What number?
we
what
can
other
raise
number?
the price of our product.
Raise the price of our product, right? So if the price of our product were to jump up to say $20 a pop,
You can hire all those people.
we would hire all of these people, right? Because they'd all be making us more than $90 a day. What would be the other thing then that would drive us to hire more workers?
Lower the wage.
Lower the wage rate, right? If the wage rate was only $70 a take-home
You can hire
pay,
number 4.
we would hire that fourth worker, right? And this is why companies, they go out there and they tell you, well, if you'd only work for, $11 an hour, we'll hire you. Give and take, folks. All right, so be able to play with this game. Now, since we're working with labor, and this wage rate is something that we care about, normally, if you guys are workers, what do you want this number to be? Do you want it to be higher or lower?
Higher.
We want it, right, we all want to earn more money. Well, how are we going to make this equilibrium point higher?
Shifting the demand curve to the right.
One way to get more wages. So how do we get more wages? How to get more wages? One way is increase the demand for labor. And the way you increase the demand for labor is by telling people that they need to buy the goods that you're making. Because if there is more demand for the goods you're making, there will be more demand for the labor that you are providing, right? Do this by increasing demand for products. Now, who is the caretaker of labor? Or traditionally has been in this country, even though it's slowly declining or fastly declining right now. Who runs the labor market?
Come on, don't make it be the government.
It's not the government. What's the opposite side of the government? What did Governor Walker do? Cut the budget. How did he do it?
It's the unions.
He cut the unions. The unions are the caretakers of the labor, folks, right? In theory, the unionization of workers is what provided us with the labor market, right?
I was going to say that would be one of the things to get higher wages is form unions.
Exactly, but how do unions do it, right? The one way that unions do it is they say, well, we need you guys to buy our products more. So what have unions been paying for over the last, say, 20 years?
Advertising.
Advertising to
Increase sales.
in this country. So what do we say? Buy American, right? That campaign was actually started by the unions. It wasn't started by the government. It was actually started by unions to try and increase the demand for American products and therefore increase the demand for American labor. And when demand goes up, what happens to our wages?
Sales.
They go up with it. Now, what's the other way that we can get higher wages?
Decrease the supply.
The other side of the coin that the labor unions use is to decrease the supply of labor. How do unions decrease the supply of labor? Job requirements. In In order for you to teach at this college, you have to have a master's degree in the field that you're teaching. What does that do? That reduces the supply of people that can be hired into this job, and therefore, I can get a higher wage.
But the union doesn't set that requirement.
Yes, it does.
I thought the Board of Education sets that.
As a recommendation from the union. They talk back and forth. Not very often anymore, but they used to
Yeah.
back in the day. What else do they do? What else do we have? We have the apprenticeship programs. And who charges the highest price for their work?
The journeyman.
Right, the journeyman. So you got to have those apprentices first, and they have to go through an 8 to 10 year apprenticeship program. What does that do? It lets there be less and less journeymen, hence the journeymen get to charge a higher price, cutting the supply of labor. Now, what's the classic way that unions say that they're going to cut labor? Unless wages go up.
Strike.
Threaten to strike, right? In order to guarantee that wages stay higher, unions say, well, fine, you're going to get nobody working if that's the way you're going to play. Right? Technically, when I was in the union for BTC, I didn't have the right to strike. It was actually a negotiating point that the union came to an agreement with Blackhawk Technical College, saying that we won't strike as long as there's a union formed at this school. That union is now gone. In theory, I could go on strike. That would be so cool. The other things that they do, what's that? I forgot the term already. Brain getting soft. Oh yeah, feather bedding. If you don't know, Kendrick, I can't tell you. You can just ask your mom. Feather bedding. Feather bedding, what that is the weekend. Why do we have weekends, folks? Unions negotiated for them. Prior to unions existing in the 30s and 40s, you worked 7 days a week. Period. Or you do now because the unions have started to disappear. Right? I mean, they're also the one that came up with the 15-minute break that you get every 2 hours on a standard work job. What did they used to call the 15-minute break? Back in the 50s?
Smoke break.
It was a smoke break, folks, but now that's considered bad PR, so we don't call it a smoke break now, we call it a 15-minute break. But basically that's what it does, is a smoke break. And what it did is it said that you get paid for 8 hours of work a day, but you get 2 15-minute breaks and 1 30-minute lunch that you get paid to do nothing at. You work 7 hours a day, you get paid for 8. What happened to your wage rate? If you get paid $100 a day, if you work 8 hours, your wage rate's like $12.50 bucks. But if you only work 7 hours, now your real pay is more along the lines of $15 or $16 an hour, right? So if you get paid for 8 hours but only work 6 or 7 or 8, your actual wage rate has gone up.
They fixed that by giving you an hour lunch off the clock.
Right.
So you work 7.5
Seven.
hours.
Right. Yeah. But all of that is just underneath the feather bedding.
So they actually got a half hour of that back.
They've been working on it. All right. So, anyways, those are the types of things that labor unions do. They try to increase demand or decrease supply. Please realize that if you decrease supply, what happens to the workforce? Right. It causes unemployment. Unions cause unemployment. That's a guarantee. This
But
is
then
very
when
true.
the price of the product goes up, and then they need to make more because it's hot, and then they hire people.
Anyways, please don't disregard Chapter 10. There will be questions on the test from it, but I won't assign any homework. Do the Chapter 9 stuff, though.
Oh, I didn't.
2-4.
Go.
How do you turn it off?
Just hit that ring.